Y'all, it's your girl Ashley, and you're listening to Sex with Ashley podcast, where we talk about pleasure, sex, relationships, and how to feel confident in your body without the shame. If you're ready for real talk with real tools, you're in the right place. Now let's get into it. All right, so welcome to another episode of Sex with Ashley, okay? So today we are talking about something that I do, or I'm a big advocate for, and that is one, sexual exploration and being in the nude, right? So today we're talking about both of those things together. So my guest today is
Jamila. That's correct.
Jamila Williams. So Jamila, first tell us who you are, and then we'll get started.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jamila Williams, as she said, and I am one of the founders of Pursuit of Pleasure, and we are a group really that focuses on increasing diversity in spaces, like she said, that are about sexual exploration and being in the nude or naked as you'd like. And one of the spaces that we're mainly focusing on right now is Cap d'Agde, France, which is a naturist village in the south of France.
So two things. One, when did you decide that you wanted to this to be your focus? How did you even start this business?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of things in my life, it happened to me. I don't know that I had a conscious effort to start it, although I had been thinking before. So maybe in my manifestation kind of dreams, I had thought of this. It wasn't in exactly this idea, but I went to Cap d'Agde with a couple of friends, just kind of was in Europe, and it was a last minute where they were like, have you heard of this place? And I was like, yes, and I want to go. And so me and a couple of friends, we went and I had the time of my life. And I thought the whole time I was there, I don't know what my friends don't know about this. I don't know what my don't know about this. This would be better with more of us there. And so I came back from that trip and I told some of my friends, and they were like, we have also heard of it and we want to go. And I said, yes, because I will go anytime. Again, tell me when. So we talked about it and we were like, let's go next summer. And it started and they were like, okay, well, two friends asked me, the other people, and they said, well, let's go next summer. And I said, yeah, absolutely. We'll just rent a little apartment. And then they were like, we told so, and they want to go. And I was like, okay, we'll rent 2 apartments. And then they told some more people, and then people started emailing me, and people sent me some money to put down on their apartments. And I said, hold on, you guys. I think I should organize this. So I sent back the money and I said, give me a couple of weeks to put it together. And so I did, and I sent it out. And that first trip, we were 15 people.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Obviously, they were mostly friends and people that I knew. So I thank them so much for trusting me with that vision. And we had a great time. And then they gave me some feedback and I ran it back and I did it again. And last year was the second year I took a group and we were 27.
So explain exactly what happens on these trips. So I know they're a trip that is based on people being in the nude. Is it a lot of people, when you think of naturist spaces, people often think of Hedo. And so a Hedo is in Jamaica, but Hedo is also a place that's kind of it's a swingers venue as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with that in comparison, so what does your trip offer? Is it like a Hedo experience?
Yeah, I would say it's more on the side of a Hedo experience than a regular, just naturist, nudist experience. I do not call Pursuit of Pleasure a naturist group. I wouldn't say that's what we are. I say we are pleasure seekers. By definition. But I wouldn't also call us a lifestyle group. I think something in the middle there, right? Because for me, the idea is that this space, Cap d'Agde in French, is started as a naturist village, but also has this whole other side of it that is very much in the lifestyle or catering to swingers. So you can kind of create an experience the way that you want when you get there. There is a lot of options for both sides of things. If you want it to be just a naturist experience, that is possible. And if you want it to be a little more on the lifestyle, on swinger side, that is definitely possible and is available in all areas of that place. So I kind of almost say it's like naturist in the day and like lifestyle at night. So for me, it's the best of both worlds.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. It's the best of both worlds. So question, what is the difference between someone who just enjoys being in the nude and actually being free in your body?
For me, I think both could be free. I think sometimes being free in your body just means being able to walk freely in a space and feel comfortable and safe in the nude, right? And I think a lot of naturists are looking for that, and a lot of people that are naturists are looking for space, and I love also spaces like that. I would prefer to not be wearing clothes than to be wearing clothes almost at any moment, but I also need it to be a safe and comfortable space, right? And so that's one side of things. But also, like you said, being freer in your body, I think then we're leading more towards, like I say, the pleasure seeking, enjoying your body, enjoying things that you want to do with your body, exploring your sexuality, or having the freedom and also, again, safety and a space to do that. And so I think, like I said, you can have both of those.
And so Cat Dag, am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cat Dag.
It's a place where people can do like normal things, like grocery shopping, walking down the street, just in the nude. So why do you think everyday nudity can be healing, or why do you think people choose to live their life that way?
I think it's freeing. I think it's like until I started my naturist journey, I think there's a lot of like self-love to have in really just being in your body and not hiding it and being comfortable in your body, and also seeing other people in their body. I think, of course, as we know, like social media where everything is edited or fixed up, or AI now, right? I don't think that we have as much contact. I think a lot of people don't have an idea of like what real people's bodies look like with their good and bad and faults. I'm going to say bad, like of their like natural bodies, right? And so I think when you're in a space like that, a lot of that like shame or self like worry can just go away, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, Jamila, I don't know, I need to lose a little bit of weight, or I don't have a flat stomach. And I'm like, not really hardly anybody does. And most of the people that do have paid for it, which is fine, right? And then they'll tell you that. Like, this is not, or they're like, I just got lucky. Because some people are, born naturally on the thinner side, and that's fine also. But I think the idea is that when you're in a space like that, you get to see all the different bodies. You get to be like, my body is fine too. And I think, like you said, when we're moving into the pleasure side of things, right? Seeing that all bodies are valued and attractive and worthy of love and pleasure and desire, right? And seeing people enjoy themselves in all of their bodies.
And I agree with that. I'm someone who attends swinger clubs, and I've gone to nudist events in the past. And one of the things I've noticed by going to swingers clubs is swinger clubs help you to appreciate the body that you have. Because you go there and you see people of all shapes and sizes.
Absolutely.
And particularly with people who are our white brothers and sisters. They just let it all hang. Literally. They let it all out. They, like, no type of like restriction. They feel very free. And I was talking to one of my friends, and I said, even in like a space like a swingers club where people are there to have sex, and typically most swing clubs, you have the front part is where everybody's clothed, and then once you walk into the back of the club is when people have to undress. And typically, Black people are the ones who maybe have like a robe on and lingerie. So we're still undressed, but we're still clothed in something.
Right, exactly.
And the white people are naked as they, just like they came into this world,
Right,
and they do not care.
exactly.
So it's very like freeing. And for someone, and so this brings me to my next question, for someone who may have body image issues, right? How can they feel confident, or how can they not have as many like what's the word I'm looking for? As many, not be as self-conscious about their body when going to a space like this?
Yeah, I think one, it's just you have to be there, right? It's hard to explain the freedom that you feel. I think probably as you know, like it's hard to explain to someone that hasn't been how that feels so different when you're looking around, like you said, and you're like, well, I don't like this about myself, and I don't like that about myself. And then you look over there and that lady has the same and or more of the thing you're concerned about. And she's having a great time, like you said, free. And you're like, okay, I can do this. And nobody's paying it any mind. I think that's the big thing. All in our self-evaluation are thinking that people are going to be focused on us, right?
And they're not.
Or judging us. And when you're in those spaces, you're like, nobody actually cares because they're too busy enjoying themselves. And then you're like, well, I'm the only one like looking and worried about everybody else. I could just also enjoy myself. And one of the things I really like, especially about Capdag, is it's a naturist village, obviously. Excuse me, it's a naturist village. And you can be as naked as you want to be all throughout the day. But you can also have a variety of things on. And some people come to my trips and they start with, oh, I'm just going to wear this robe. And then the next day I'm like, okay, I see you with the sheer robe. Got it. I liked it. And then, 2 days in, they're like, it was too much to carry around. I was naked. And I'm like, yes, exactly. You have to keep up with it. You could just be free.
Right. And so how do you set the tone for like consent and communication for people? Because I'm assuming on these trips, you have people have different levels of comfort levels and desire levels. So how do you set the level of expectation or tone for consent and communication?
Yeah. Well, once we know who's going, we have our like a separate kind of private group. So we have a lot of conversations about this, and consent is always key in all things. Like I said, even how much clothing you want to wear. I'm not going to make you be naked or not be naked as you like, right? Because that is a matter of consent. I want you to be comfortable and enjoy yourself. My focus always, like I said, is about your pursuit of pleasure.
This episode is brought to you by Pleasure Please, my book that helps you build confidence, communicate your needs, and reclaim pleasure without shame. Available now on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and wherever books are sold.
But we have a lot of conversations about consent is key. Consent is ongoing and needs to be enthusiastic. And we have a lot of conversations about that, and a lot of conversations about where everybody is in their journey. Some people are like, okay, I want to go, but I don't know if I want to be involved. I want to watch. I don't want to watch. And so we have a conversation, and I get to know a lot of the people before we go. So I can let them know, like, as well, this space is going to be a little more on the activity side, right? There's going to be a lot of things happening in there. And if that makes you uncomfortable, you can come in and look, and you can leave when you want, right? And I think as a group, we kind of, I think anytime you're traveling as a group, you get to know each other, and people, look out for each other. So I think the main thing that we do is we try to have a lot of conversations so everybody understands like what they're going, what's like the first step is for me to kind of clear information about what you are going to see, right?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So the first step is for me, obviously, to give kind of clear information for the people about what to expect, where they're going, like I said, what the village is like, so that they can make up their mind about what they want to experience. And then we go together and I try to help everybody have as comfortable as experience as possible.
So people can basically opt in, opt out of what they want to do.
Absolutely, 100% all the time. And you can start and then opt out. You don't have to stay anywhere you don't want to be, right?
And absolutely. So what type of activities or what type of itinerary do you have on these trips? Like, just give me a few. You ain't gotta give me all of them. Like, what is, if I'm going on this trip, what
Right.
can I look forward to?
Well, we always start kind of with a meet and greet. So everybody gets to know the group. We do a tour of the village because it's big and there's a lot of things. And then, we'll have a beach day where we all kind of go out to the beach and hang out on the nude beach. There's pool parties. There are like world famous foam party that you could also attend. And those parties are more on the kind of swinger lifestyle side of things. Anything that says party is probably going to be on the lifestyle side of things. So people need to know that, right? If I say a beach day, that means we're just going to the beach. Just going to the beach, fine, right? If I say it's a party, then there's probably going to be some more other things happening, right? So that's some of the things we have. It said there's a lot of things to see and do in the village. A little bit of something for everybody. Last year we took the group, they have a dungeon, a BDSM dungeon, and we all went as a group and we got to see all the things, and they showed us a lot of the equipment and things that they use, and there were some demonstrations and things like that. And that was very exciting and very interesting for everybody. And some people were like, "Oh, I like this, I'm doing that," and some people were like, "That was good for me. I'm going to go back to my room." Great. I love that. But it's about the exploration at that point.
So question. So are your trips for couples, singles, or both?
Both. For both. And most of the time, actually, like I said, we just had the 2 trips before, and we have more singles than couples going. This year we have a few more couples.
Okay, so this brings me to my next question. So if you are, let's say couples are going, and so there are singles there. So what type of boundaries or conversations do you think couples should have before going?
I think couples should have a lot of conversations before entering my trip, especially, but obviously, I think any kind of lifestyle or swinger space. And I think those conversations should be about expectations, about desires, about fantasies, about goals, right? And also about limits and boundaries, about what they want to do, what they don't want to do, having some kind of words for like, when do we need to like rethink of things, or I thought I was going to be okay, but I need to talk to you a little bit more about something. Having all of those conversations ahead of time. Yeah, absolutely. I think those are really important. I think in any of those spaces, but especially I think somewhere like Heptag where there's a lot happening. What are you going to do if one person, like this, for example, if we're at the BDSM space and one person is enjoying, the exhibition and the other person is feeling overwhelmed? Like, what are you going to do? Like, as a couple, you have to discuss that, right? Because you don't want the other person to leave and not feel supported, or you don't want the other one person to feel like they're missing out or whatever, right? You should have these conversations beforehand. And I hope to, like I said, once I have the groups in mind, I give a lot more information about kind of what they're going to be seeing and doing so that they can start having those conversations.
So you also make it very clear on who these trips are not for, meaning people who are closed-minded, who are judgmental, uncomfortable with different lifestyles. Now, my question is, though, some people are not self-aware as they think, as you think. So some people think they're open-minded.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right? And then so you get there and you realize, you know what, I'm not. So how do you know? So how can you know if this trip is for you? I guess my question.
Yeah. I mean, I think like I said, I want you to be open-minded. Not that you have to have seen or done everything, but open-minded in a way that you're willing to explore and allow other people to live their lives. Right. So if you feel like you can do that, like I said, if you get somewhere and you're like, oh, I thought I was going to be more interested than I am, fine, but you remove yourself. I don't want you to be a person that needs to interrupt other people's exploration because you're not comfortable. Right. So if you feel that fits you, like I'm willing to go see, or I'm interested or I'm curious about like what all is happening and I want to see it, but I don't know yet, that's fine. Please come, but just that, like I said, I think I need you to be able to say, okay, this is not for me, but it doesn't have to be for everybody, and not be a person that needs to interrupt other people's enjoyment of their time because you're not feeling comfortable. Right. You can always, obviously, people come talk to me directly at any moment and say, I need, to leave this space, or I need to talk about it. And we have had, one of the day ones, they said, I saw some things I didn't know that I was going to see. And I had to like rethink. And we had some conversations there in the village with them. And they said, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. But now they're like, yeah, I thought I was going to feel some way. I felt initially like, I think shocked maybe, right? And then they thought, I talked it over with the other people in the group, and I feel like it's fine now. So that I have seen growth even within the group that has actually happened to people. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do, it's a segment on here where I call from my DMs, and this where we answer questions from people in my DMs. So I posted that I was having someone who is a nudist on the show. And so people had questions because people are intrigued questions. Okay. So one of the questions is, what is one thing we would be surprised that people who are nudists are probably insecure about?
We would be surprised that people that are nudists are insecure about. Oh, that's a good question. I think, everybody still, even nudists obviously still have some insecurities about their bodies. I think that they are on a path of normally trying to like work through those and accept those. But I think people think that all nudists are maybe like exhibitionists, like they want everybody to look at them. And that's not true at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. So this one is, if you have friends over, are you still in the nude with your friends, or do you wear clothes when people are at your house?
At my house is a mostly closed house, depending. But I guess for me, it depends on the comfort level of the people that I know are coming over, right? So I know because I have other friends that have traveled with me that are also naturists, and I may or not be nude or in transition, like getting dressed. I don't necessarily do any extra covering in those situations, but I believe obviously in consent. And so if they're not going to be comfortable with me being naked while I'm home alone, I'm almost, not wearing very good clothes. But
next question. What does it take to be brave enough to become a nudist? Or is it being brave? It might not even be.
I mean, I think there is. Anytime you're doing something that you've never done before, there's a space for bravery, right? Like taking a chance or doing something new. But I think that I think in a lot of things, I would say this about a lot of stuff, but believing that you're going to be okay, right? That's where you're going to get the bravery from, right? Believing that I'm going to do this and I can decide if it's for me or not. But at the end of it, I'm still going to be okay. I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be safe. I'm going to be okay. Right. And I think that's where the bravery comes from. That nothing about you necessarily changes, or nothing, changes in that way. Right. You'll be fine.
You're definitely going to be fine. And I think it's a quote that says something to the effect of, whatever you're looking for is on the other side of being scared, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, once you get past the scared feelings, then whatever right. you're looking for, it's over there. You just have to get over being scared.
Right. Absolutely.
So I totally agree with that. Yeah. And once you go to one of these events, it really is free. And I really can't really explain it, but it's like, oh, okay. It's not as of a big deal as you thought it was before. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just, you have to just go and kind of just experience it for you to kind of understand. So if someone is craving transformation, mm-hmm. but they're scared, because people be scared. And they're thinking about maybe this is something I could do, or maybe it's a trip that I could take, but I'm nervous or scared about it. What would you say to them?
I would say, like I said, go back to this, like you were saying, right? That thing that you're looking for is right outside of your comfort zone, right? So take a chance on yourself. Come, join the group, talk to the other people, learn from people that have also taken that step, and then trust yourself to be okay. I think the main thing is, right, like I said, the group is about pursuing your pleasure and whatever makes you happy. I think you just have to do some thought about, right? I think if you're even thinking about it, there's an idea that something that you're looking for, something that you're interested in, right? And it could be there. And so I think you have to trust yourself to take care of yourself, trust yourself to speak up for yourself, and then just go for it.
Let's talk about the trips. So you have 2 of them coming up. So when are they? How can people sign up for it? If you want to talk about how much they cost so people can know.
Absolutely. We're 2 trips this year. The first trip is July 19th through the 26th. And the second trip is August 23rd through the 30th. Right? I think, sorry, I guess distracted.
So you're just talking about just where they are, how can they sign up, if whatever cost is included, all this.
Okay, so the cost of the price, the trip starts at $2,250. That's double occupancy. You need a $250 deposit to sign up, and that's it. And then you're in the trip. That trip cost includes your housing, the customized itinerary that I will be putting together, so you get a good idea of all the things that are available for your pleasure in the village. And it also includes transfers from the nearest train station or airport to the village, right? Because we're in France, so there's the idea about transportation. But that's once you sign up. If you are looking to join us, I think the best way probably is just to send an email at info@thepursuitofpleasure.com. info@thepursuitofpleasure.com. We're also on Instagram, and there's a Facebook group called Capdag Nor. So if you're interested, like I said, send an email. We'll get in contact with you. You can join I think the Facebook group is a really good way to talk to people that have already been, ask them questions within the group, see what other people are talking about, what other questions other people have. And yeah, that's the best way, I think, to get in touch.
So thank you, Jamila, for having me. Not for having me. Child, you on my show.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward. So I am supposed to be going to a Capdag in August. And so I'm looking forward to going. So if anybody is listening and they want to go, I'll be at the August one. So come to August. It'll be fun. Again, if you're someone who is wanting to build body confidence, or if you're someone who thought about maybe the healthy sexual exploration, I think this will be an ideal trip for you to come on, and you can just tap stick your toe in. You don't have to go full fledged. You can just try it and see what happens, and then you're gonna be in France. So you're gonna be far away from anybody you know.
Absolutely. Right.
There won't be nobody who's like, oh, I saw you, Lisa, at the swinger club.
Not.
You're gonna be all the way in France. So this is the perfect time to explore. So please send Jamila an email if you're interested. And Jamila, I thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. That was good. I had a great time. I love talking to you, and I love the podcast. Glad to be here.
Thanks for listening to Sex with Ashley. If you learned something today, do me a favor and send me a review and share this episode. And if you want more guidance, you can also purchase my book, Pleasure Please, available at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and wherever books are sold. Love you. Mean it. See you next week.